In 2021, Hikoki delivered the world's first cordless plunge router, and it proved very popular.
Fast forward 3 years, it's 2024 and DeWalt are celebrating their 100 years anniversary. Lots of new tools have been announced, including the brand new half-inch cordless plunge router. It certainly looks impressive, but has it been worth the wait? Coming up in today's video.
Hello and welcome to the channel. In today's video we are going to be taking a look at the brand new DeWalt DCW620 plunge router. Not only are we going to be taking a look at this router, I've got a blade and they've said I can actually have a go with it. So we're going to set up a jig and we're going to actually put it through its paces.
I'll also be sharing with you my 4 favourite features on the brand new DCW620. Features I ultimately believe will help make this half-inch cordless plunge router stand out from the crowd. Not only that, later in the video, I'll be answering the most commonly asked questions regarding this router.
So the first thing that you'll notice straight away is the ergonomics of this tool. The handles here, you've got the power here with this nifty little safety switch, which means you have to flick it down before you can actually power up the tool. You've also got a lock so you can actually lock it on. And you don't need to take your hands off the tool while you're using it. So you'll find your left hand, you can actually lower it, raise it, like so, without actually leaving your hands off the tool. Your thumb, you can move it round and you can actually adjust the speed as well, like so, which is really, really cool. And around the back of the machine, you've got the depth gauge and depth stop, and a depth stop turret for micro adjustment. I think this is what a lot of people were expecting originally when the half-inch cordless router was announced, to have a big old flex volt battery on the top like this. Now maybe I'm exaggerating with a 9 amp hour battery, but if you were actually using it with this battery, the weight is all off. It ends up being completely top heavy.
Now I'm not saying it can't run on flex volt batteries, because it can. It's fully compatible with these batteries. However, they're a bit too big. The machine's actually been optimised to run on the 5 amp hour power stack batteries. It was decided that these gave it the perfect runtime and performance that was required, and that's why there's 2 included in the kit. It's also part of the reason why the release of the tool was delayed. The flex volt batteries weren't quite working and the power stack batteries were still being developed.
So I think it's time we tested this router out. I'm going to do a Mason's mitre, but for that I've got to switch over the base plate. It actually comes with 2 and I need the one that I can attach the 30mm guide bush to. You don't want to be losing those screws because they go on the floor and that's it, we're done for the day. Even basic laminate worktops can be a bit pricey, so I haven't got to cut any right now. I don't want to waste material, so I'm going to do this test joint in some 18mm MDF. This is the kitchen jig from Trend that I always use for doing these types of joints, and I can't recommend it enough. If you'd like to know how I set it up and actually produce the joints with this jig, please let me know in the comments below and I'll shoot it as a separate video. If you haven't got one of these horseshoes from Trend for supporting the router, definitely recommend getting one of those. They're very, very good. We're just going to sit the router on here a second, just while we make sure that the clamps are nice and tight. So I'm starting off with a female cut. I did 3 passes in total, 2 at different depths, and 1 final pass to get a clean cut. And with the jig flipped over, it's time to do the male cut. Now I can't put into words how good it is to use a cordless router. No more cable snagging or holding you back or potentially getting damaged by the blade. I swear, once you get a cordless router, you are not going to want to go back. And we're just going to offer up the male cut that we just did. So if we push it in, that is absolutely spot on. Now I didn't want my fun to end there, so I decided to give my biscuit jointer a go. that did involve switching over the base plate, but that's a really easy job to do. So far, all the cuts I've done have been without the dust extraction attached. It's given me a lot more freedom, but the downside is I'm absolutely covered in MDF dust. And that links us very neatly to the next feature. I think you're going to be impressed. And here she is in all her glory, the DCW620. Now, the observant among you will notice that one of the plunge posts is actually thicker than the other. Now, this is not a manufacturing fault, this is actually part of the integrated dust extraction system. So the dust is actually forced up through the casting, through the hollowed out strut, and it exits the router here at the top of the machine where it's connected to a dust extraction hose. Once I've fitted this round over bit, I'm going to demonstrate the actual dust extraction abilities of this router. We'll get a battery into the dust extractor, and then we can choose between one of two different plastic inserts that go in the top of the router. These inserts help with the dust extraction, so they stop any dust from escaping from the top. You also get a shroud which attaches to the underneath. Again, this scoops the dust away, sending it to the dust extractor. With the extraction hose attached, there is literally no dust escaping from this cut. But to prove how good this extraction is, watch what happens when I remove the hose. Now, there's literally no suction right now on this machine, so this is the clever design of the machine, forcing all that MDF dust out through the top. Absolutely amazing. So one of the coolest features on this router is the anti-rotation system that's built into it. So we've got on here a warning triangle, and we've also got an anti-rotation light. So these features are there for safety reasons, and they're not going to interfere with the regular use of the router. If you're being silly buggers, then the warning triangle is going to come on. The anti-rotation is another system, so if we power it up, I'll demonstrate it for you. So if we power it up, and if we then twist the router suddenly to the side, like so, it's that movement kicks in the anti-rotation device. Now, I've still got my finger on the trigger, and you can actually see here the red light, the red warning light has come on to warn you that the device was snagged in some way and twisted, and it didn't like that, so it cut all power to the blade. If you let go of the trigger, the light will then reset like so, and you're ready to go again.
As I promised at the beginning of the video, I'm going to be answering the questions. So I put it on my social media recently. If you had any questions regarding this router, let me know, and we'll try and answer them now. And anything I can't answer now, we'll find you an answer in a follow-up video. So let me have a drink of water, and then we'll begin. Right, let's do this. First question. DeWalt fan here. I have a cordless Hikoki. Is it worth the upgrade? So what I will say is, if you've watched this video, you've seen my 4 favourite features about the DeWalt. I think they really sell it, so maybe that's helped you make a decision already. The plunge depth is only 50mm on the Hikoki. DeWalt is now 70mm, so there's a fair old difference for you there. The Hikoki's going for around 300 quid now. Obviously it's a lot more for the DeWalt at the moment as a kit form, but potentially if they sell it as a body only tool eventually, then maybe then if you've already got DeWalt batteries, it's worth jumping across to the DeWalt. Does it have features other cordless routers don't have? I think all the cordless routers at the moment that are out there are absolutely fantastic. So we've got the Makita, Milwaukee, DeWalt and Hikoki, all really good tools, and they've all got some very good features. That being said, I do think in some aspects the DeWalt is better. So some of the features were in this video. So the dust extraction is definitely the best I've ever seen on a cordless router. So 70mm plunge depth on the DeWalt, and that's compared to 60mm on the Milwaukee and the Makita, and 50mm on the Hikoki. So it wins on plunge depth. Another thing it's got, which is really cool, is it comes with a cone so that you can center the router bit. And that's really, really important. If you're using any kind of jig, like a kitchen worktop jig, you need to be able to center the blade to get the perfect cut. When will it be available to buy? So I believe it's going to be end of August, beginning of September time. Hikoki, still the original and the best. So, okay, I know you guys like to go on about it being the world's first 1/2-inch router. Spoiler alert for you. Google Porter Cable 9290, okay? 2005 that was. Now, I will say it's a very good router. It's great that it's cordless, but it's definitely starting to show its age. $750 for this kit. That's crazy money. If you spend more money, you're going to get more features, and the DeWalt is certainly fully packed with features. Now, what does make it more expensive? Obviously, it's got the two 5Ah power stack batteries in the kit with a charger, so that's adding a couple of £100 to it. The power stacks are like £100 each usually, so if you do strip those out of the kit, you're probably looking at a router that's around £500. So if they did it as body only, that'd be great. So final question today, I've got how many worktop cuts from one battery? So I actually had quite a few similar questions on this topic. People want to know how much you're going to get out of a battery charge. Now, I did a lot of cuts while I was testing it, and when I checked the battery at the end, it was still fully charged. So with regards to worktop cuts, now I haven't done loads of worktop cuts. Obviously you can look up the spec of what DeWalt say it can do, but I know you want proper answers. So I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to do another follow-up video with my mate Julian. He's had this DeWalt router for the past 12 months, and he's been cutting everything from worktops to solid oak, and he's really put it through its paces. So I'm going to do a follow-up video. That's going to come very, very soon, and we're going to answer all those technical questions. So if you want to see that, it's probably a good idea to subscribe to the channel right now, just so you don't miss it. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed watching it as much as I enjoyed making it, please hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and I'll see you in the next one.